The first man shouted, "Kneel before me," as he stepped into the training circle, certain that the woman in front of him would fold under pressure. He had no idea that 267 Navy SEALs were about to witness a moment that would change how they viewed strength, leadership, and humility forever. What city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more real stories about extraordinary people. Her name was Captain Mara Hawley, though almost no one on the base knew her true position. She arrived 3 months earlier as a transfer who kept to herself and avoided unnecessary attention. Most believe she was just another junior officer assigned to logistics, quiet, polite, almost invisible in the sea of louder, harder personalities around her. The base was hosting its annual Joint Evaluation Week, and hundreds of SEALs, Marines, and Special Operations candidates gathered for the final test of discipline and leadership. The commanders encouraged competition, but rivalry often boiled into disrespect. Mara watched from the outer circle, hands behind her back, expression steady. A group of elite SEALs strutted into the center and started provoking anyone who looked their way. They were decorated operators, but their arrogance overshadowed their achievements. One of them pointed toward Mara. "Bring her in. She looks like she wants to watch instead of participate." The others laughed. Mara stepped forward with calm steps. She had no intention of proving anything. She simply respected the rules of the event. If she was called into the circle, she would enter it. The moment she stepped inside, the laughter grew louder. They saw her smaller frame, her quiet demeanor, and assumed she was prey. They had no idea who they were talking to. The first man towered over her. He lifted his chin and repeated the command, this time with more pride than authority. "Kneel before me. Show respect to your betters." Mara kept her gaze centered on his chest, not as a challenge, but as a measured point of focus. She spoke with a voice so steady that several SEALs in the back stopped talking. "I kneel to no ego, only to honor, discipline, and truth." Her words rippled through the circle. The first man scoffed. Another stepped forward. This one carried a reputation for pushing boundaries just to see reactions. He circled her slowly. "You walk in here like you matter. You hide in the shadows and watch real warriors work." "Who trained you? Who taught you to stand like that?" Mara did not respond with anger. She held her posture with practiced discipline. "I came here to observe. You called me in." "That is all." The man stepped closer. Then closer. The tension in the air tightened. 267 SEALs leaned in, sensing something shifting beneath the surface. They thought they were intimidating her. What they did not realize was that she had already endured greater pressure than any of them could imagine. The circle leaders hesitated. Should they stop this? Should they let it continue? No one expected a quiet logistics officer to be the target. Yet they watched, curious. Mara looked calm, unbothered, entirely present. The second man smirked. "You need to learn your place." He reached toward her shoulder, intending to shove her back and humiliate her. The watching crowd murmured. A few of the older SEALs shifted uncomfortably, sensing disrespect rather than legitimate testing. In a moment defined by discipline rather than aggression, Mara simply stepped aside, allowing his hand to pass through empty air. She did not strike him. She did not escalate. She allowed his momentum to expose his own imbalance. The man stumbled forward. The circle erupted with noise. Some laughed. Some gasped. The senior instructors narrowed their eyes. They recognized that the quiet officer had just used a movement pattern that was not typical of basic training. It was precise, controlled, expert. The first man clenched his fists. "You think you can embarrass us?" Mara answered calmly. "I think you embarrass yourselves." The words landed heavier than any punch. Pride cracked. The men moved with increased aggression. A third tried to grab her arm. She shifted her weight and redirected his force. He fell to one knee, shocked by the speed of her response. Again, she did not harm him. She simply demonstrated mastery without violence. A fourth man tried to corner her. A fifth attempted to flank her. Mara moved with a fluency that forced the most seasoned operators to question what they were seeing. Each motion was deliberate, every gesture controlled. She kept her hands open, showing that she had no intention of fighting them. Yet she neutralized every approach with flawless balance. Whispers spread. Who is she? Where did she train? Why have we never seen her before? Arrogance melted into confusion. Confusion melted into awe. The commander of the base stepped forward. His voice cut through the chaos with the authority of decades in service. Stand down. The circle froze. Mara took 2 steps back and stood at attention. The 5 SEALs who had tried to intimidate her looked around, suddenly aware of the silence swallowing the field. The commander addressed the crowd. All 267 operators held their breath. You wanted a show. You got one. You thought you were testing an officer beneath you. Instead, you were testing the commanding officer of this entire joint evaluation. A wave of shock pulsed through the field. Heads turned. Eyes widened. A few SEALs cursed under their breath in disbelief. The commander continued. Captain Mara Hale is the youngest officer to lead a multinational covert training program. She has trained units you have never heard of. She has completed every qualification you respect and several you do not know exist. She chose to observe quietly because leaders do not announce themselves with noise. The men who had challenged her lowered their eyes. Their pride dissolved into realization. Mara stepped forward again. Her voice reached everyone in the circle. I do not stand here to shame you. I stand here to teach you. Power without control is weakness. Strength without humility breaks teams apart. You asked me to kneel, but today you learned that no one rises by pushing others down. A heavy stillness filled the field. The lesson struck deeper than any physical demonstration could. The 5 men approached Mara with changed expressions. No bravado. No mockery. Only understanding. The first man who demanded she kneel spoke quietly. Captain Hale, we were wrong. Mara shook her head. Growth matters more than apologies. You are warriors. Act like warriors with honor. The surrounding SEALs nodded slowly. Something in them shifted. The quiet officer they dismissed had just delivered one of the most powerful leadership lessons they would ever experience. Not through force. Through grace, discipline, and unshakable presence. For the rest of the evaluation week, Mara trained beside them openly. She guided them when they struggled and praised them when they succeeded. The unit bonded in ways they never expected. And the 5 men who once tried to humiliate her became some of her strongest supporters. The story spread long after the event ended. Not because of the fall of prideful men, but because of the rise of a leader who proved that true strength does not demand submission. It earns respect through character and unwavering purpose. There is power in silence. There is authority in calm. There is honor in humility. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.